Good morning. What's up, you guys? So today we're about to get started on Joshua's car. If you remember from the last video, we opened this thing up. We found out the intake was completely full of oil. I guess a lot of it's drained out. But yeah, everything inside was soaked. Even the balance tube's so soaked. I've got napkins or towels there catching the oil dripping on the floor. It's bad. Not only did it fold a valve because of cheap eBay injectors, here's one of the spark plugs, completely smashed, and I'm almost thinking we've got a melted piston. But we won't know until the end of this video. Maybe another video, maybe I'll make a short on it, I don't know. But we're actually trying to pull this out this video. We're gonna get the trans and everything out. We've actually got a donor motor over here in my secondary garage. Sorry, I've only got one little dinky light. But we've got this motor that we just went and picked up. And we're gonna swap everything over to this, make this motor look pretty, replace gaskets, reseal it, drop it back in his car, and hopefully we'll get it back to Joshua by the end of the week. Yeah, I know. Still got the vert chilling back here. That vert. I just wish it would work out between me and it. So I think first and foremost here, first thing to do is take the nose panel off and the bumper. I've got to be able to get a jack underneath this thing. I'm not going to tear that bumper up trying to get my jack under it. Not used to these hex sets. They sure look good though. Doesn't seem that there's literally anything else on over here. Oh, because there's not. Stupid fog light caps. They always fall off. Since I'm finally working on a nice car, I had to break out my nice ratchet. I had this thing like brand new for like 2 years and I barely used it. And now that we're up on all 4 blocks, before we get under the car to start removing the transmission and whatnot and all the exhaust, we just picked up both of these drain pans and we're leveling up the shop tools a little bit. These pretty much make it so much cleaner to clean everything up. So we've got a power steering and a coolant one now. Let's take that drain plug out so we don't end up like everyone online. Crack the bleeder loose. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm not in no hurry here. I'm not trying to make a mess all over my floor. So in the meantime, let's just get the radiator ready to come off. And our radiator hoses. Why not? I think we've drained enough of it out by now. So we just started getting busy underneath the car. We got the starter pulled and we've got one of the test pipes off. We just pulled the slave cylinder and now we're working on the second test pipe, and I seen something that just absolutely blows my mind. Everything was going great underneath except the excess of zip ties. Since there's limited room up here because the starter's in the way and he has these huge bolts sticking out, he put a nylock nut on an exhaust downpipe stud. What in the world? I do have to admire this brand new J-Spec transmission though. So we just popped that loose and it just started draining oil everywhere. All over me. Guess I gotta take another approach to this one. I had to situate all that oil because I got this nice new floor. I'm not trying to ruin it. You know, not really new floor, but floor's new to me. And it's a really nice concrete floor in comparison to anything that I've ever had, so gotta take care of it. Man, there's gonna be so much oil. Whew. That pipe is soaked inside. Oh man, we're leaking oil bad. Sand and chip. Rag didn't do anything. Just when I thought I got it under control. Well, here's what was in the tailpipe alone. Exactly what I was trying not to do. I'm curious. Heads out. So, oh my gosh. That is nowhere near what I thought. It's just still coming out. Let's just keep adding all of our pulled parts over here to his little stash so we can keep everything organized. I may have just made a modern piece of art on complete accident. This here motor oil looks like an old rack of ribs. I'm too hungry right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the drive shaft. I don't wanna have to risk any more oil down there dripping. I just remembered the downpipe or the manifolds are probably dripping as we speak. And then I'm gonna disconnect the shifter, trans wiring. So I think we're just gonna continue with that and we'll be back when we're done. So then we can really get to something somewhat productive or entertaining. And now we're ready to pull the transmission. We got all of our bell housing bolts out. Let's see how long it takes us to pull this trans. Oh, this car is too low. Yeah, final pull. Wow, these N8 manifolds actually get in the way. That's bizarre. Hey, we officially touched down. And our main victory has been achieved. Wow, this clip's 5 minutes long and I did have that stuck bolt. Oh well, not our best, but not our worst. Engine mount nuts are out, so that means all we have is power steering and what's left of our wiring harness. Well, it's the next day. We got up super early today so we can get a nice early start. I guess it's so early that my lights don't want to work. There we go. What the heck was that all about? Even this light over here is not working. So basically we just called it quits last night. Gabby got home from work, made a killer dinner, and well, you know me, I'm not one to pass down a meal. So I was gonna opt out of doing any work this morning, but I've been up for a while, I can't sleep. I'm thinking about this and how I gotta get it done. So this morning we've actually decided we were gonna post our interior swap video today and sit down and edit it all morning, but I need to get Josh's car done. So we're actually gonna prioritize this build right now, getting all this stuff done, keeping up steady videos until we're done. Then we'll fall back on our interior removal and install video, my vacation video, and then we'll get caught up. Sorry to throw things out of order here, but I just gotta get stuff done. So with that being said, we've got our power steering drain under the car now, so we can actually crack our J-hose and our banjo bolts loose. So let's find the tools we just went and bought on vacation, because you guys haven't seen that yet. Got the J-hose cracked and bleeding. Now for the banjo bolt. How could I forget? Can't forget your alternator and transmission wiring up here. Need to get some new casters. Every single ball bearing fell out of both of them. We're actually using like the PRVR or EGR bracket bolt spots on the side to bolt in, and we're using rags to protect the chain on the valve cover. Now that our casters are straightened up, we can start to pull this hard out. Well, what's left of it, that is. Angle it forward, stay away from the firewall. So it is manual, and it has a clutch. Number one thing on my mind, be careful, be careful, be careful. Now, there better not be any more stinking hidden zip ties. Because I'm telling you, that's the one thing that's getting on my nerves. I've cut probably 40 zip ties at this point. Absolute insanity. Always pull your wiring harness on the other side of your dipstick. Very common confusion. Let's just make quick work. So, I'm a sucker. I didn't pull it all the way because I had to share this moment with you guys because I just started to pull it and I'm just in disbelief. One hand and it comes out. Oh buddy, if any of you guys have been at the channel for any time past this point, you would know how much of a fight it was for us to move this hoist on our very old porous concrete. So relieving to have a nice smooth surface to actually work efficiently on. Next, I can't wait for that lift. We got a while for that. Well, the clutch looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and pull the pressure plate off. I guess I should say the pressure plate looks good. Let's pull it and the clutch off. I'm wondering what kind of clutch kit this is. Or flywheel, I should say. Still brand new, as expected. And now for the flywheel. Okay. Crank that impact up. Guess we'll grab that plate while we're here. Yeah, you can see that ring gear is chewed up. That's why it grinded the first time that we tried to fire it up here last video. And again, you guys, I'm not one here to just constantly try to down this other guy, but I'm really just trying to put awareness out there to what bad intentions can do for you and your Z. The deeper I'm getting in here, the more I'm seeing he just did not give a crap. One of my biggest pet peeves. If you're going to do your oil pan, why are you going to do it in the stuff you use for exhaust? There's literally black silicone that says oil resistant. That's what it's used for, stuff with oil. Just blows my mind that we just still cut corners. Have a half moon leak because we don't seal them right? Just cover the whole thing up in RTV, why not? And I'm looking at kind of just the poor RTV job here. The VTCs are even sealed on top, just completely slathered and smudged, and like, look at that. What's that old booger doing? Like, you don't need too much RTV, let's just say that. Especially for all of these miscellaneous places. But back to the flywheel, we just came to find out that is an Amazon flywheel. Yes, he even cheaps out on one of the most crucial parts to your car. The reason I'm wondering if it's even grinding is because it is a twin turbo gearbox. Since it's a 99J spec, they only come in twin turbo. The bell housing is slightly different, so he may have an NA flywheel for a TT bell housing. Of course that's not going to work. Because when you go the other way around, you got to shim it. So that means the NA is going to be farther in and it's not going to make full contact. It's another thing we're going to have to measure out and dig into. Let's see if we can get this thing over on this stand, even though this is my crappy stand that has one wheel that always falls off. I guess I could do something about the RB, but I don't want to. Let's pull that and make the old switcheroo. All up on the stand. Now, let's begin tearing this down. Literally just gonna start taking everything off. I gotta get all the timing components off, cam gears, to be able to take the timing covers off, and then in turn, be able to pull the intake and our head. We're not gonna pull both heads, we're just gonna pull this one, because that's the one that we know we have damaged, so we're gonna inspect the bottom end by removing this head. Oh my gosh, come on now. RTV in between the intake and the heads. Dude, I get that the gaskets are expensive, but you don't do that. What? So my guess is he reused the gasket and slathered it with RTV to make up the difference. It literally never ends. Step one. Let's get our drain pan going down here before we get too crazy on anything. Oh man, thank goodness we started stripping it the first time. Well, let's just say it was already stripped and we couldn't get it to get a nice bite, but these forbidden Allen bolts in here, these things, you just never know. There we go. Man, that was stuck. Never heard RTV pop like that before. I believe it's time to start pulling the timing cover. For the last one, there we go. We finally get to expose our next working area. I always forget, gotta disconnect that alternator bracket. I really hope the crank pulley doesn't have to come off. Finally managed to get it loosened up enough to actually start pulling it off. I was worried for a minute. So the reason this thing's so hard to come off is because it was forced on and it's actually like made to fit. Look at that inside. There's not supposed to be a raised lip at all. They put it on crooked, tightened it down, and it just has absolutely annihilated it. Has he been scammed? Okay, it's just super dirty up here in this area, but back here it actually looks like it is a clean tensioner. Now that we got a bolt in the tensioner stopper arm, let's loosen the tensioner. I don't care if it's at top dead center, everything's coming off anyways. Guess there's not a whole lot much of a reason to wait. fingers crossed, this should be good to be reused. And I just seen something not good yet again. It still looks new. You can tell on the inside for sure. Outside always gets a little weird and kind of worn up. But when I pulled that out, look what fell. Some kind of washer from back here. Definitely shouldn't be anything here under this timing cover area. Why was I not rolling again? This thing didn't want to come off because, as you can see here, it's been RTV'd. Again, RTV everywhere it shouldn't be. Just get a new O-ring. Why silicone it instead of that? That's all it needs. I guess I could take that off instead of it just hanging out. Yeah, let's just pull this. Oh, come on. Catch that oil before it mixes with my coolant. And that is how your VTC is powered. Oil. Well, I think that's definitely the belt. Oh, I know what it's from. It's from rubbing on that washer. Yikes. Come on, dude. Now we can get the timing cover. Now we're home free. Let's pull the head. I guess we should pull the valve covers first. Here's my method for pulling the exhaust valve covers. A little claw hammer. Protect your other valve cover and crack it loose. I guess it's not as urgent to keep everything clean. Well, that's unfortunate. It looks pretty clean over on this side. May have a salvageable exhaust cam. Well, the cam seems to be good. Well, maybe not. We got a little bit of scoring over here. We may have to get it turned or something. Well, we got one side started. Make sure to work both sides. This thing has to come straight off, or you'll pretty much work against yourself the whole time. Learn that one the hard way. The gasket keeps hanging on and getting us hung up. Let's get our breaker bar and let's start cracking them loose. It appears I've only got a 3/8 drive 10 mil to get any of these out. I believe I forgot my adapter at the other shop. Let's go grab a new one from Harbor Freight and let's continue. Well, unfortunately, it's the next day. I had to go pick up one of these. I actually had to get a whole set, because actually last night I went to Lowe's, bought an adapter set, and I didn't want to have to break it again. Since I'm actually going to use my impact to take these out, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. Why not? It doesn't hurt to remove. You obviously don't install head bolts with an impact. But before that, we did just loosen up our exhaust manifold, so this will be a little easier to get off. We did already get the little 10mm security bolt here on the back. So, you've got to be kidding me. This thing doesn't even fit. Oh my gosh. Looks like this is a cams out kind of thing. Since I found my adapter today, we'll just crack it loose with this. I don't know if any of you guys have ever removed heads and whatnot before, or cams, but that's real sharp oil smell that you smell when you crack them loose. I absolutely love. Make sure there's no oil in the head bolt hole, because you can't compress fluid, and if you don't have it in all the way, you can actually round your head bolts. And if you don't have an impact, leverage is your best friend. Oh, it actually came up. Usually it never comes up with just a pry bar. I guess I haven't had an actual pry bar until now. Oh shoot, gotta pull the head bolts. I totally forgot. Not too worried about the washers right now. And of course, one bolt has threaded itself back in. Now we can pull it. Oh man, are there no dowels on it? Holy crap, that thing just slid off. Oh, well, I made a mess. Holy cow. This is exactly what I suspected to happen, but at the same time, I just steady was hoping for the best here, that we would at least have like a reusable bottom end. In all reality, we probably might have a good crank still. Fingers crossed. The block is good. It'll just need board. As you can see right here, it catches your finger. Well, yeah, let's just say this thing has literally been destroyed, not only by the valve breaking, but fuel injector. Pretty much the injector got this thing so hot that that valve flopped, bent, broke off, and well, it's decided to sit around in here, flop, and proceed to poke holes in the piston. We will do a further teardown on this, not in this video. Maybe we'll do a little short about that. This is very unfortunate, but it just means we get to push this thing to the side, and then we get to immediately move on to the new block, start getting it all cleaned up, resealed, gasketed. A couple gaskets ordered, but for right now, I'm actually about to go edit this video. But I forgot, I don't think I showed you here. So here is our valve. I can almost get it out, but that has proceeded to bounce around and destroy about everything. So that's what took the spark plug out. Pretty catastrophic damage here, as we thought in last video. I guess we are done being upset about it. Let's just move on and start getting the other motor done. So hope you guys liked the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below. If you're not already, you should consider it if you're not. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. We're actually getting another one of your guys' cars in 2 days from now on Friday. So we're going to be starting an NATT swap for another customer car video. So I hope you guys are stoked for that. Stay tuned and peace out.